As landmen, I mentioned earlier, we're always moving from project to project. You guys are always starting a new project with a new client or a new team. You're working a new area. So many of our clients get moved from assets to asset, where they're working with a whole new group of people. Like, what are some of the things that you've seen and just in general, maybe even from a client standpoint, that make the best team players at one of your clients? Like, how do people, what's the ideal type of person, the ideal skill set, ideal mentality for someone to elevate and be just the ideal team player?
I think what I've seen amongst our clients who I've seen be the most successful in their careers as landmen, which I think also has carryovers for our the folks in our firm and maybe even independent landmen as well, is it actually, like, the bar is very low. It does not take a ton of effort. It just takes a few things repeated all the time, which number one is like just being kind, like being kind to each other, to coworkers, vendors, superiors, bosses, the folks in the office next to you, people on different teams within your organization. Like, being kind and treating people with respect is number one. Number two is like having integrity. And by integrity, I mean like basic integrity, doing what you say you're going to do. If you say that you're going to send an email on Friday, you send the email on Friday. If you're saying I'll call you tomorrow, you call them tomorrow. Like, if you say a project is going to get done by a certain deadline, then it gets done by a certain deadline. Or if it's not, if I'm not going to call you on Friday, I'm going to tell you, hey, I'm going to call you on Monday. Something came up, right? Or if the project isn't going to get done by May 1st, you're not calling them May 29th or April 29th and saying it's not going to be done by May 1st. Like, actually, maybe a week or two earlier, it's like, hey, something came up, it's more complex or whatever. Here's the new deadline. Do you agree with this? Right. And the third one is just probably smile. Like, it sounds ridiculous, but just being a person that people like to be around
Yeah.
takes you a long way, because really, um, like, like you said, there's kind of poker stakes for being oil and gas lawyers, for being a great landman, whether you're on the corporate side or like building a private equity based back company. There's kind of poker stakes of intelligence and industry knowledge that you have to be at that level, right?
Yeah.
And so, what is, assuming that everyone that you're competing with for that role is at that level, and I would argue that for us, we have a lot of competitors who have the table stakes, right?
Yeah.
There are a lot of competent oil and gas attorneys that are not at Oliva Gibbs. And so I just really try and, work with the team on, look, guys, like, just have integrity, do what you say you're going to do, be kind to people, be referable, which means those three things that I mentioned, and be someone that people want to be around. Like, are you in a bad mood all the time? Are you negative all the time? Like, I want to be around people like that.
Yeah.
Right? Do you participate in things? Are you engaged with your community, with the industry, with the team? Like, are you an interesting person? Those are the things that I've seen people succeed at, or who people who want to succeed. Those are some of the characteristics
Yeah.
that I see in them. How about you?
I think when I look at, flip it, looking back up to our clients, the clients that have been the most successful, I mean, groups that come together, put together a good asset, the team works in unity. They all share a lot of the common traits. I say it like you said, step one, don't be an a-hole. And you
Mm.
see cultures permeate. It's very weird. Well, it's not weird, but it's just interesting to see how the cultures start to align. Like, you see certain groups, types of people, a certain person at the top is going to hire a certain type of people. And it's whatever their mentality of how they should be, right? And so you start to see a lot of the same
And
people,
dude,
good or bad.
I met with, earlier in my career, met with like land managers at companies, and I'm like, man, I really don't know if I want to work with this guy. And then I go and meet the team, and they're very similar.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know, man. Like this, I don't know if this is
It's
going to
gonna
be a
be
great
tough.
experience for us.
Just gonna be tough. I mean,
And there's other folks that I've worked with where like, or if we have a client go to um, another company and they bring that culture with them, and seeing them influence that team is amazing. And also, like, I've got favorites that we love working with, and I know that everyone who is on their team is going to be like 10 out of 10, A player, super personable, like straight shooter.
yeah,
We can have straight business conversations, not like these weird flowy, like, well, maybe there's going to be work, or maybe we might work for
yeah.
you, work, you know what I mean?
I
Like, it's
can
just
count.
like boom, 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 and we can have honest conversations, or direct conversations, I suppose. I love working with companies with great cultures. It's such a game changer, and I hope that some of that bleeds into us a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. I think the ones that at least the relationship, where the relationship between,
Mhm.
Dudley Land Company and our client is the best, is when it's really looked as a partnership. Like, when they call us to go to work for them, they're looking at it as we're a partner. And, my success as a company, as a E&P company, is tied to how good you guys are and can operate. And
Yeah, for sure.
eh,
Those are the best. I mean, I love, like, I'll get texts and emails from clients like, hey, we would not have been successful without, your team in Louisiana doing an amazing job, or your team in Ohio or Bakken or Permian or whatever doing an amazing job. And we've also worked with clients where we try to build relationships with folks, and like, it doesn't happen frequently, and it has happened in the past. Like, the client contact there won't even pick up the phone.
yeah,
And we're like, well, we can't,
how can I make
how do we,
how do I make
how do we work
decisions?
with
How
you?
do I execute? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very much, I tell this to
I
a lot
think
of,
that's probably in every industry though.
I think it is. And I think it's just,
Yeah. It's
again,
just people being people.
yeah, being a good person and respect,
Right.
I guess, for the person. The worst thing you can do is look down upon someone you're asking to work for you. And unfortunately, that happens. You know, I think that's a culture that you see in companies at times,
Uh,
where they're like, hey, this is the help. The help is there to do
right.
what you tell them to do. And yes, we'll do what we're told to do. But man, it's like, you know, honey, it's the whole saying about, you know, I like it.
And it's gonna be really hard to, I mean, if I'm in your shoes, Brent, and there's a client that you guys are working with like that, who has that attitude, it would be really hard to get your team to really rally around that client's projects.
Yeah. And
Like,
it's,
how do you inspire them that
yeah.
way?
And you don't, you just beat them down and you don't get the best out of the person
Yeah.
or the team in general.
Mhm.
Um, but it's you're only as good as the people you work with. It's a very basic saying, but it's the truth. And so those groups that recognize that can have open communication and be open to that and respect your opinion. It's like, hey, Brent, I need you guys to get to do this, 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 and this. And the follow up question, the best question is there any roadblocks to doing that? What do you need to get that done? Um, and that's always the best because we can feed them reality. We can inform them. If they're informed and we're informed, then we can all make the best decisions.
You know, this conversation, Brent, and I'm trying to think back to all the work that we've done over the years, and I don't think that there may be, and I can't think of it right now. I don't know if there's a land team at an EMP that we've worked for that had that attitude that got outstanding results at all in that business unit.
Yeah, you're probably right.